Story 1. The Vanishing Spectre. Under the veil of darkness, I embarked on a solitary drive through winding roads, the rhythmic hum of the engine punctuating the quiet night. The moon cast a pale glow upon the landscape, illuminating the path ahead. Little did I know that this seemingly ordinary drive would thrust me into a chilling encounter with the unknown. As I cruised along the road, a figure emerged from the shadows, standing at the edge of the asphalt. It appeared as a specter, their form indistinct and ethereal. A sense of unease washed over me, but curiosity compelled me to slow down and offer assistance. The figure entered the car, their presence sending a chill through the air. An unsettling silence settled between us as we continued the journey. Their features were obscured, as if shrouded in a veil of mystery. It became evident that this encounter held an otherworldly essence, a glimpse into the realm of the supernatural. As the miles passed, the figure remained enigmatic, their presence casting an eerie atmosphere within the vehicle. A palpable tension hung in the air, and a feeling of being observed gnawed at the edges of my consciousness. The road ahead seemed to stretch endlessly, heightening the sense of isolation and foreboding. In a flicker of movement, I caught sight of the figure's face in the rearview mirror. It bore an expression of anguish, their eyes holding a depth of sorrow that resonated within my soul. The realization struck me. I was not simply in the presence of a stranger, but a lost spirit seeking solace. With each passing moment, the figure's features grew clearer, their forms solidifying in the ethereal light. They shared fragments of their existence, tales of an untimely demise and an unfulfilled purpose that anchored them to the mortal realm. Their presence carried an urgency, a plea for closure and release. As the road wound through the moonlit countryside, the figure's presence intensified, their essence becoming intertwined with my own. Their sorrow seeped into my very being, weighing heavily upon my heart. It was as if we were connected by a thread that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead. A sense of urgency propelled me forward, drawn toward a destination known only to the spirit. The road became a conduit leading us to an old, forgotten cemetery bathed in the moon's soft glow. It was there that the figure guided me, the presence growing more resolute with each step. In the silence of the graveyard, we stood before a weathered tombstone, its inscription worn with time. The figure's gaze locked onto the grave, a mixture of sorrow and longing etched upon their spectral face. In that moment, I understood my role, to help facilitate the spirit's final journey, to release them from the chains that bound them to the earthly plane. With whispered words of solace and forgiveness, I offered the spirit permission to find peace. A surge of energy coursed through the air, a swirl of mist and light enveloping the graveyard. The figure's form dissolved into the night, their presence vanishing like a fleeting whisper on the wind. As I drove away from that sacred ground, a mixture of awe and melancholy washed over me. The encounter had forever changed my perception of the world, revealing the delicate dance between the living and the spirits that linger among us. The memory of that enigmatic drive would forever be etched in my mind, a reminder that there are realms beyond our own, and that sometimes the veil between them can briefly be lifted, intertwining our lives with those who have passed beyond. Story 2. The Eerie Detour. Under the moonlit sky, I embarked on a solitary drive through unfamiliar territory. The night air heavy with an inexplicable sense of anticipation. The road stretched out before me, a twisting path that seemed to vanish into the unknown. Little did I know that this late-night drive would lead me down a chilling road of unsettling encounters and unexplained phenomena. As I navigated the unfamiliar route, a feeling of unease settled upon me, like an invisible hand tightening around my chest. Shadows danced along the periphery, their sinister movements sending a shiver down my spine. The air grew heavy with an eerie silence, broken only by the distant rustle of leaves and the haunting whisper of the wind. A detour sign appeared before me, seemingly materializing out of thin air. Hesitant, yet driven by an inexplicable force, I followed its directive and veered off the main road. The path twisted and turned, leading me deeper into a realm of unknown horrors, as if the very fabric of reality had shifted. An overwhelming sense of isolation descended upon me as the road narrowed, the darkness closing in like a suffocating embrace. A feeling of being watched intensified, causing my skin to prickle with unease. I glanced at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see a phantom presence lurking in the shadows. A flicker of movement caught my attention, a figure standing at the side of the road, their form obscured by darkness. An involuntary shiver ran through me as I approached, a mixture of curiosity and trepidation gripping my heart. I hesitated, but an unseen force urged me to offer assistance to this mysterious stranger. The figure entered the car, their presence both ethereal and unsettling. They spoke in hushed tones, their voice filled with a haunting melancholy. Tales of lost souls and forgotten tragedies spilled from their lips, intertwining with the very fabric of the night. It became clear that this encounter was no mere coincidence, but a dance orchestrated by forces beyond comprehension. As we ventured deeper into the labyrinthine roads, the stranger's tales took on a nightmarish quality. Ghostly apparitions appeared at the edges of my vision, fleeting glimpses of tormented souls seeking solace. Their presence permeated the air, their sorrow etched into the very essence of my being. The road seemed to stretch on indefinitely, an endless loop that defied the laws of time and space. Shadows twisted and writhed, assuming grotesque forms that seemed to mirror the darkness within my own soul. I could feel the veil between the living and the dead growing thin, as if the boundaries that separate our realms were on the verge of collapse. In a harrowing climax, the road abruptly led to a dilapidated house nestled within a thicket of gnarled trees. The stranger's eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light, their form flickering like a spectral flame. A sense of foreboding settled upon me as I stepped out of the car, drawn toward the house by an unseen force. As I crossed the threshold, the air grew thick with malevolence, every creaking floorboard echoing with haunting whispers. The spirits of the forgotten stirred within the darkness, their presence electrifying the atmosphere. A chorus of moans and disembodied voices filled the air, echoing through the decaying halls. I stumbled upon a room consumed by darkness, its walls adorned with eerie symbols. In the center of the room stood a mirror, reflecting an image that sent a chill down my spine. And an apparition, my own reflection, distorted and twisted into a grotesque visit. It was a glimpse into a reality that should never have existed. With a surge of desperation, I broke free from the house's clutches, fleeing into the night. The phantom presence pursued me, its ethereal touch grazing my skin. I raced through the winding roads, my heart pounding in my chest until finally I emerged onto the familiar path from which I had deviated. As I drove away from that nightmarish detour, a profound sense of relief washed over me. The encounter had forever changed my perception of the world, revealing the unseen forces that lurk beyond our comprehension. The memory of that chilling drive would forever be etched in my mind, a reminder that sometimes the detours we take can lead us to the very edges of our sanity and plunge us into a realm of darkness from which escape seems impossible. Story 3. The Haunted Path. Under the moonlit sky, I embarked on a solitary walk along a secluded path that wound through a dense forest. The rustle of leaves beneath my feet served as a steady rhythm, guiding me deeper into the eerie wilderness. Little did I know that this nocturnal stroll would lead me to a spine-chilling encounter with the supernatural. As I ventured further into the heart of the forest, an inexplicable sense of unease settled upon me. Shadows danced among the trees, whispering secrets of the unknown. The air grew heavy with a palpable energy, tinged with a hint of anticipation. Despite the foreboding atmosphere, curiosity pushed me onward, eager to uncover the mysteries that lay in wait. A figure materialized in the distance, their form cloaked in darkness. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end as I approached cautiously, drawn by an unseen force. The figure's presence exuded an otherworldly aura, its ethereal nature sending chills down my spine. Silence enveloped the forest as we stood face to face, a mere whisper of a breath away. Their features remained obscured, a mysterious veil that shrouded their identity. A strange understanding passed between us, as if we were connected by a thread that transcended the realm of the living. Without words, the figure beckoned me to follow, their movements fluid and graceful. As we traversed the labyrinthine path, an ethereal glow emanated from their presence, casting an otherworldly light upon the surrounding trees. The forest came alive with murmurs and whispers, an echo of unseen forces stirring in the darkness. A chorus of distant voices filled the air, whispers of forgotten tales and lost souls seeking redemption. The figure led me deeper into the heart of the forest, where the boundary between the mortal realm and the supernatural grew thin. Shadows danced and swirled, their movements mirroring the secrets held within the forest's ancient core. In the midst of this spectral ballet, glimpses of apparitions flickered at the edges of my vision. Their ethereal forms drifted among the trees, trapped in a timeless dance of longing and despair. I felt their sorrow like a weight upon my soul, an indescribable connection to their spectral existence. The path twisted and turned, leading us to a hidden clearing drenched in moonlight. A sense of ancient power pulsed through the air, as if the very fabric of reality had thinned to reveal a gateway to the beyond. The figure turned toward me, their features briefly illuminated by the pale moon glow, a face etched with sorrow and a yearning for release. In that profound moment, I understood my role, a conduit between the living and the ethereal. With a mixture of trepidation and compassion, I reached out, extending a hand in silent solidarity. The figure's hand met mine, their touch sending shivers of energy coursing through my veins. In a surge of luminous brilliance, the figure's form dissolved into the night, merging with the swirling shadows that enveloped the clearing. The forest echoed with a chorus of whispers, a farewell from the spirits who had found solace in my presence. As I walked away from that hallowed ground, a profound sense of reverence washed over me. The encounter had forever changed my perception of the world, revealing the interconnectedness between the living and the spirits that linger in the shadows. The memory of that haunting walk would forever be etched in my mind, a reminder that there are realms beyond our own, and that sometimes the path we least expect to tread leads us to the profound mysteries of the supernatural.